the tweet bag, which in this week's tweet bag, I'd asked a question last week about a lineup. This week, I decided to put out a Twitter poll question.
I thought that was a fantastic question. So many people wanted Tony La Russa fired last weekend and
At
before
least
that.
20,000 were shouting it at a game.
But the question is, who would you replace him with? And I thought you had an interesting list there.
Yeah,
You're limited to only 4 options on a Twitter poll, right?
Right. So I added, if you have another choice, write it in. I got 3 write-ins, one of them from you. So we're going to start off with the write-ins. I'm going to start off with the sarcastic, funny write-in of Terry Bevington. Thank you. I love everyone who has a good sense of humor. I think even though he replaced Gene Lamont, he was even worse than Gene Lamont. So I don't know how that's even possible, but he was. So, or did Gene Lamont replace Bevington and then Jerry Manuel replace Lamont? All I know is
I was watching Sparky Anderson dominate the ALEs at that point. So,
well, anyway,
I had no idea.
There you go. Yeah, nor should anyone try to remember any of that. Then another Twitter follower wrote in Miguel Cairo, who's currently the bench coach for La Russa, and I hadn't thought about him. I mean, he's had experience coaching in the minor leagues, and he's been in baseball for a long time. I wonder, since he's just new as part of the La Russa staff, I mean, he might be, if they did the unthinkable from a Jerry Reinsdorf standpoint and fired him in the middle of the year, he might be
he'd be a perfect interim.
I mean, he'd be the perfect interim, but not.
That would make sense. I don't know about long term, but
long term, yeah. And then you brought up, which got some. This is going back to when the Sox had the vacancy, was AJ Pierzynski.
I thought that would. I was surprised it wasn't on your list, but I brought it up only because it comes up like every time AJ broadcasts a game. Like somebody asks him, or he does a lot of White Sox games actually, but his name comes up, and he has not shot down the idea of one day becoming a manager. He said, there's only 30 of those jobs in the planet, so he wouldn't mind doing that, which also implies he would never work his way through the minors as a coach or a manager. So he would take a managerial job at the major league level, but he wouldn't do anything else. So you can't blame. He's got a good gig as it is, just being a national MLB broadcaster. So he doesn't have to rush out to do anything. But I think if the right opportunity presented itself, he's certainly leaving himself open for that.
Yeah, the only reason I left him off, because there was only 4 spots, was because I don't think the White Sox are really all that interested in him right now. Basically, because they made their comments that they wanted someone with, major league coaching experience. It would be perhaps playoffs experience too.
It would be a radical move to put someone in there with 0 experience and try to navigate them to a World Series. So,
and I have one. I think there's what for me, and White Sox may have the same hesitation. AJ doesn't mince words, and I'm not sure that he's the right fit, because he's more of an old school baseball guy, and I don't think he could ever come around to dealing with the new style of player. And I just think it could turn into like a dumpster fire in like a red hot minute.
He has had a reputation for rubbing people the wrong way at times. So.
Yeah. So
not teammates. Well, some teammates actually.
Yeah. I mean, he got ran out of San Francisco.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be awesome for the podcast. I mean, you guys are the most interesting 2 games below 500 team ever. Just imagine if AJ Pierzynski was your manager.
Yes. What I was surprised at, no one wrote in Ozzy. He always gets some write-ins, but no one wrote him in. So
I think that ship has sailed. He might want the job, but I don't think they're gonna ever try that experiment.
I mean, the fact that they called him ahead of time and told him he wasn't a candidate kind of sums that up. But let's get to how the poll ended.
Yes.
So we'll start with we have a tie for third or fourth or third, both at 21.
It's almost like a 3-way tie for second.
Yeah, it's almost a 3-way tie for second. Joe McEwing and Willie Harris got 21% of the vote. Now, I strategically put Joe McEwing on that list because I assume that most people wouldn't want anyone. Now, Joe's been here a lot longer than Tony La Russa, but I just assume no one would. I was even surprised at the Miguel Cairo suggestion because I would think no one in White Sox Nation want anything outside of Ethan Katz staying that has to do with Tony La Russa managerial staff.
Yeah.
So, but Joe got 21, and Willie Harris, who interviewed for the job, got 21. Where is he? Is he on the Cubs managing or no? He's not third base coach for
third base coach. Yeah,
first with the Cubs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Someone who I think would do a great job is what I put him on the list for personal reasons because I've always liked his name coming up as a White Sox manager, Sandy Alomar. He has ties back to the White Sox. He's probably becoming impatient waiting for Kona to retire because I think he's the heir apparent there. But I think if they reached out to him, I think he would be like, yeah, I can't wait any longer. I'm going to leave and take the job.
I've heard his name come up like specifically 2 years ago when both of our teams were looking for managers, both the Tigers and White Sox. I thought he would be a candidate for either, but for whatever reason, I don't know if he was interviewed or how that worked out, but I've heard his name for several years now.
We know he wasn't interviewed over here.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the winner and this, and I'm a little shocked by this, and I'll give you my reasons why. Not that I don't love him to death. He won 3 world championships for my second favorite team, but Bruce Bochy, runaway winner, 36% of the vote. So
I think that's world championship clout right there. I mean,
that's 3 world championships.
He's got the rings.
He's got the rings. But my question to you is, like, La Russa has the rings too, but he's done it more recently than La Russa. But I mean, you're in that weird realm. He's 10 years younger than La Russa, but that still puts him at like 67 years old.
Yeah.
So
he also doesn't have the DUIs on his resume, and he's a little more likable person in general.
Sorry for partying is what that goes back to. Wow. Remember, he's a baseball type of guy. Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just a little surprised because, there's these questions on the older managers, but I think Bruce Bochy, he's a chill California guy, so he's got that demeanor that works well with the modern day player.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think Ozzie wasn't asked to come back because they're like, you're going to butt heads with these guys, and then it's going to turn into what happened right when you left. So we don't want that again. So White Sox Nation, Sox type thing. Thank you all that participated, all 17 of you. Well, I guess 16, you don't really count because you're part of this, but
I tried to skew the results.
Yeah, it's our most active poll we've ever received responses for. So thank you for participating. And I'm sure Rick Hahn is listening to this, so he'll probably be giving Bochy a call soon just to see what he's thinking.
Wordhole Media.